Right guys, this is a Longplay review for Total Eclipse 2, the Sphinx Jinx, released by Incentive Software in 1989. Now this first appeared on a special edition of Total Eclipse as a free game which just had a sticker put on the front of the box. This was made quickly by the founder of Incentive Software, Ian Andrew, using scripting language and Freescape engine his brother Chris Andrew had predominantly coded. And given how fast it took to complete this, apparently just a few weeks, it's obviously inspired the idea for the 3D construction kit released to the public 2 years later. Anyway, according to the article in issue 180 of Retro Gamer magazine, this was made to boost sales of the first game, and the special edition of Total Eclipse with its sequel was first made available at half its original price in the summer of '89 to the Home Computer Club, the largest mail order company for computer games at the time. They had a monthly catalogue where a game of the month would be chosen. It was hoped that giving them a free extra game and sequel exclusive to them at half price would win them this accolade, and it indeed worked. They did win that, and they got the award and large orders came flooding in. There was also apparently a high score competition to win a holiday to Hawaii to see a Total Eclipse for real. Like canny marketing, eh? I'm not sure when this special edition went on sale to the public in shops. I would guess maybe a couple of months later, but a large number of you would have encountered this game as a freebie on the Amstrad Action magazine issue 78 cover tape in March of 1992. And it is from the Amstrad Action magazine a few months later a solution was printed to the game that I will be following, which you can find on the CPC Power website. But be warned, there's lots of mistakes in it. So here I'll be walking you through the game rather than spending time going over technical details of the game in Freescape engine, which I covered last time in the Total Eclipse 1 long play and review. Let's get this started off, and strap in guys, because this is going to be a long one. It's going to take nearly an hour to beat, and it's probably going to be a little bit slow paced. There we go. Here's a loading screen. Pretty much the same as the original game. They just added the 2 there and the text there saying Sphinx Jinx. Can't blame them though. And here we are on the title screen. As you can see there, there's the Sphinx in all its glory. And when we start off, you'll see rebuild Sphinx. And bits of the Sphinx disappearing. And the game starts off. So basically guys, the whole purpose of this game is we need to find 12 parts of the Sphinx and rebuild it. It automatically gets rebuilt and the part added when you find a particular part, so you don't have to go back and forth going back to the location where we saw that and rebuilding it one by one. It automatically gets done. There's some gold, but apparently it's just a mirage, if you saw that quickly. Cheeky. And we start off by going through the back door here. Okay. So I'm going to be talking you through this as best I can. So you just need to make your round, go around to the back of the closest pyramid, and you'll find a small building with a door, like I did. And we're now in entrance A, and we've just picked up some gold. I'm going to try and pick up as much gold as I can in this game, guys, to try and make this as a complete long play as possible. But there is going to be some gold we miss in this game, and I'm not going to be asked about finding it, quite frankly. In fact, I think there's a room with some gold that if you go and get it, you get permanently stuck in. So yeah, I'm going to leave that, but I'm going to get as much as I can. The biggest difficulty in this game, actually, compared to the first game, is the clock. You've only got an hour this time rather than 2 hours. And the clock ticks down very quickly. Refilled our water there. And you can shoot these blocks there to reveal a door. And there's some more gold to pick up there. I should point out, in the previous room, in the long walkthrough guide from Amstrad Action magazine I'm following, we went through the left door. In the guide, it actually tells you to go through the right door. So that's the first mistake in the walkthrough guide I've been talking about and which I'm following. And now as we come into this room, there's a ank to pick up on the wall here. Now the anks are used to open locked doors. You'll see like a block across the door. and you need to use these sparingly because there's a section where you'll need to use 5 anks all at once, believe it or not. Shoot that door to open it there. And getting the gold here. Sometimes you can actually run over the gold, so that's why I'm just angling myself down and going slowly to get that. Right. We just need to go for this door. Sometimes it can be awkward angling yourself to get in the right position. Okay, don't move any further forward here. Shoot the like dog statues on the nose, and that will disable them, because if you didn't and walk through the room, you get zapped by lasers. But remember, guys, every time you enter this room, you'll have to shoot them and disable them again, because they get re-enabled after you leave the room. Now, there's a problem. There's a missing section in the walkthrough guide here I'm using from the Amstrad Action magazine and CPC Power website. It tells you to go through, like, there's a whole chunk of text missing, actually. What you actually need to do is go through this, this door all the way down here. What I'm trying to do here, guys, is not fall off the ledge and lose some health and energy. Your health is indicated by the heartbeat. Your heartbeat's too fast. Basically, your heart explodes, you have a heart attack, and you die, and it's game over. And falling off that would probably... right, anyway, it caused a lot of damage to me. There's a Sphinx part. That is missing in the walkthrough guide, so you need to walk through this door at the end here. And then we can go back out. And then I think we actually then go through the other door at the end. Disabling the statues here. Actually, no, I think we end up going back through these statues, actually. So yeah, there's a whole chunk of the walkthrough guide that is missing, that says go through the door at the north end of the ledge and collect the Sphinx part. That's quite an important part there, because we're actually collecting Sphinx parts to beat the game, and that's missing in the walkthrough guide. I think it might have been a misprint in the Amstrad Action article. But there we go, there we go. So yeah, if I'd fallen off that ledge, sorry, I'm having difficulty getting through the statues here. If I'd fallen off that ledge, my heartbeat will probably sort of be beating like duh, 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 duh. And if I'd fallen off another ledge, it probably would have been game over. Now, you could press the R key to rest to lower your heartbeat, but the clock would be spinning around like mad on your wristwatch there. And time is your greatest enemy in the Sphinx Jinx. But the first time I played this through, I actually ran out of time. I had plenty of time on the first game, but that game was tough with some ledges to walk along. You could fall off, and then you'd get stuck and have to like go like a massive loop around to get back to where you were. Okay, right, we're going into the Jinx area now, and shoot that block to destroy it, and shoot that block to raise that one up. So this is Jinx C. Jinx D. Here we just need to walk into the first barrier and it will fall over. And this one you need to shoot the them either side, but you don't get an audio clue that that you've actually sorry, a bit of lag there on the video, my apologies. You don't get an audio cue that you actually activated something or hit the right bit. I just hope you have. So I'll just move back a little bit, and there we go. It's down. Run through as quick as you can. Jinx C. Shoot the cube in front of the barrier. And then basically walk up to the barrier. U-turn. Shoot the cube again. And the barrier will move back up around you. Move into the barrier at least once. And then run to the door. Now, Jinx B. This one's a bit of a pain in the bum. walk up to the barrier, push into it once, U-turn, and then you want to do here is stand on this little cube, and then U-turn very quickly and run as quick as you can. Ah, too slow. So that cube is just below us. Just checking where it was. You need to have like your full stride selected, not small steps, because you can get crushed. So if you were walking under that block there, you would have been crushed, and it's immediate game over. Run, 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 run. Ah, just made it. Now this block then gets in the way. And I found if you just reverse yourself back and forward a few times, after shooting it, sorry, and go in a crawl position. So I'm now in a crawl position. And then run. Oh, very careful not to get crushed there. That's how you get through Jinx B. That was took a bit of working out. This one's pretty simple. There's a Sphinx part behind you, so U-turn and then look down. There it is. Looks like the moustache of the Sphinx. And then U-turn here, and there we go. There's an ank on the wall there, and then it looks like you've reached a dead end here. What you need to do is go between these two blocks. There's a blue one and sort of a pinky purpley one. There's actually a gap just between them. Just adjusting my angle there. If you look at it, keep an eye on the symbols there, just above the stopwatch. There we go. If you go in here and then turn 90 degrees to your left, so you're facing east, and then go to crawl position and shoot this, it will reveal the exit, and there we go. That's the first real big sort of puzzle of the game, and it takes us back to where we rebuild the Sphinx, which automatically happens. You might see that little moustache thing there is now appearing and floating, floating in the middle of the room there. Okay, you need to go through that door. There is not very clear on the walkthrough guide. Right, and then we go for the left door here in entrance A. Whilst we're back in this room again, I think we can just refill our water flask, which is actually quite low already. That goes down quite quickly. Again, I'm not actually 100% sure what happens when you run out of water. I mean, I've got right to the bottom before, I had no water left, and I haven't died. Maybe it takes a bit of time, or your heart rate starts increasing, and then eventually you die. I don't know. Ought to have tested that. And then go through the west door into cell Quet G. Coming up here. Now, okay, there's a Sphinx part to the left. There's a hidden door behind those blocks, and there's also some gold on the ledge above there. Which take a little bit of time manoeuvring. So, let's quickly talk about the other versions. The Specky version has monochrome graphics, so they're arguably the worst of the 8.3 8-bit versions. Oh, notice there was like a hawk bird thing on the wall there. You can shoot and his head turns to the side, but I've not actually found any use for that. Okay, anyway. Sorry, a bit of lag on the video recording there. My apologies, guys. Hopefully it won't impair your enjoyment too much. I had to record this on a lower spec PC at the time. But given the frame rate and slowness of this game, I don't think it really matters too much. So yeah, probably the worst out of the free 8-bit versions of Specky in terms of the graphics. The sound effects aren't as good as the CPC because it's using the buzzer, not 128K sound chip. And it plays about the same speed and frame rate. There's that bird on the wall I was talking about a minute ago. The Commodore 64, the graphics are rougher, but it has nice atmospheric music throughout the game. And again, plays about the same speed and frame rate. So as usual, the CPC has the nicest graphics. The C64 has the nicest music. In fact, the only version of the game with music. So it's your call whether you prefer having slightly nicer graphics on the Amstrad version, or having music on the Commodore 64 version. Up to you guys. There's not much in it really, and the Specky version is really just as good, just not as nice looking or sounding. But I don't believe this was made for the Amiga or Atari ST though, unlike the first game. I think this only appeared on the 8-bits. So Amstrad, Specky and Commodore. Okay, we're now in Cellcat F, and I think there's some gold to pick up here. The walkthrough guide I'm following, I've mentioned plenty of times already, doesn't have like basically where the gold locations are. He's not bothered looking for gold, but I'm going to look for it and pick it up where I can. Sorry guys, a bit more lag on the video there, my apologies, but I'm not going to re-record this. Okay. Right, there's a ledge here you need to run along and then fall off, and you will take some fall damage. So basically, I tried seeing if I can minimise fall damage by crawling. I think it did actually save me some health there. Now, unlike the first game, there are health kits to be found in the game. It's like blocks you just walk into and it will restore your heart rate. So don't bother resting, not unless you have to jump off a ledge and your heart rate is ridiculous. There's an ankh to be found here, and this is a Sphinx part, although it's hard to tell sometimes. There we go, 4 parts collected already. Yeah, it was hard to notice, but there was a tiny gap in this block here against the wall which you can sneak through. Okay. In the walkthrough guide here, it says to something, but once you've got those bits, go for the gap and climb the steps, but there aren't actually any steps in this room, so that's a mistake in the walkthrough guide, so just ignore that. If you're following this walkthrough guide, especially while I'm playing this, that will be useful to you, so I'll point out those errors and things like that. So yes, and unlock this door. I'm now in Cellcat D. To our left there is a teleporter, but we're not going to use that just yet. There's a block of gold at the end, and we've got some more jobs to do in the room coming up, Cellcat C, which is just through this door here. Now, watch out. There is a laser on the ceiling just above that item on the floor there. There's the laser. But we're going to need to pick this up. It can be quite awkward because if we go too quickly, it's kind of I won't say a bug or a glitch in the game, but you kind of run over objects and not pick them up. It doesn't detect that you've gone over the object, so we're going to have to go at a slow pace over this and actually take some damage from the laser. Just getting the right angle as best as possible. And to the left of the ankh there is a Sphinx part, which we'll collect in a second. But we're going to get this ankh first. Got it? And there goes the laser. Ah, run, 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 run. Oh god, the lag there. Now, it's like I wanted to try and select like my longest stride. There's 3 different strides you can select in the game: short stride, mid stride, and long stride. And that's denoted by the H sort of symbol. So look above the wristwatch and the 4th symbol from the right there. So I'm on the smallest step at the moment. Collect the gold. And 2 to the right is the angle where we can move and look around in. Okay. So there's a Sphinx part here. Going to get as close to the wall as we can. There's also a water trough to fill up our water. Ah, it's still shooting us though. We now have 5 parts. There we go. And we'll refill our water, which does go down quite quickly. There we go. And a quarter of our time has already gone. As you can see from the wristwatch there, with the long hands on the quarter past mark there. And remember guys, we only have an hour to do this. So now we can go through the teleporter. And now we're on to the part 2 of the solution, which is printed in a later issue of Amstrad Action magazine. So now here we're on Thebes D. And okay, now there's a trip thing on the floor here that normally, if you walk over it, you spill half your water jar, and there's usually no way around it to sort of increase the tension in the game. I guess that's been added. But if you run at full stride at a certain angle, you can actually go over that trip thing on the floor there, and you won't lose any water. So we're trouble collecting the Ankh with the laser above it on a few screens back, because you run too fast and skip over it. But you can actually use that to your advantage here. So that was the bit of the floor where you'd walk over it and you'd trip and you'd lose half your water. What I'm trying to do here is, guys, I'm going to try to get a nice straight angle to this door at the top there. You need to shoot this upside down pyramid shape, and it will reveal a stairway, but the stairway will only stay revealed for a short amount of time. Yeah, and then run. There we go. Got some gold there. There is a Sphinx part here, but we'll leave that for now and come back for that. Oh my god, the invisible walls. Right, this is the bit of the game that everyone hated. I'm going to try and talk you through this. So go in a crawl position and go down the steps and keep going forward until you reach the first invisible wall or step. There's the first step. You've just gone up it, go back down, turn left 90 degrees so you're facing the west wall. And then go as far as you can into the wall. Now turn 90 degrees to the right facing north and go forward north until you stop, which will be very shortly. God, invisible walls, guys. Now, there's a gap to your right. So turn it in a northeast direction and push along the wall until you find it. And then when you feel yourself moving forward, go north until you are stopped. And if you're lucky, you might find a gap that means you'll skip a complicated part. Well, there's a few more steps to do. I think we found it. So turn yourself absolutely north here. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, now go forward. Okay, now if we turn to our right 90 degrees, there should be like a block in the way. So here, what we need to do is turn sort of southeast and just go around it. So just put yourself around very carefully. There it is. Now we need to turn back to the north and go up the step as far as you can. Don't think I've quite reached it there. That's it. Okay. That's it. I'm on the step now. Now you're on the step. Turn to the north. Go forward north as much as you can till you're stopped. Turn to the east to your right 90 degrees. And then push as far as you can into the east wall. Now turn to your north. Left 90 degrees. Push it into the north wall as far as you can. And you've made it, basically. Now you can get to the door. Oh my god, this would have annoyed so many people back in the day. I know actually comments on my previous Total Eclipse long play video of the first game. So a couple of people have posted about like I gave up on Total Eclipse 2 because of those invisible walls. Oh, thankfully there's lots of goodies in this room here. So we've got a Sphinx part, we've got gold, we've got a water trough. There's a first aid kit or box there, which we'll go in. You just need to walk into and it will restore your heart rate, which is actually pretty good at the moment. So my heart rate has slowed down somewhat since we fell off that ledge. There we go. That's us collecting first aid basically. I think there's a part of the Sphinx there. What, is it one of his eyes or nose? I can't remember. We've got a water trough here, so we'll fill up our water. Let's get the right angle. There we go. Another bit of gold to collect here. And then we've got to go back into the invisible wall maze again. But thankfully, it's a lot easier to get out of than it is to get through originally. Right, okay, so in this part, all you need to do here to get through the invisible wall is turn to your left and go back sort of the way we came almost. So face the east wall and push as far into it as possible. Turn to your right and face north and just basically keep going. You will get some fall damage here as you fall off an edge. That sucks, but hey, we want to get out of this as quickly as possible and just keep pushing along this east wall and going north and then get this bit of gold. And then you can get up the steps and out back to Thebes C. But yes, guys, the most hated part of this game by a long way. Just orientating myself to get up the steps. And then we can get out of here. Okay, now there's a Sphinx part here, and there's a block covering one of the two doors on this west wall. Just push yourself against the wall as far as possible. Get the Sphinx part, and once you've done that, if you move forward and then move back slowly, the block covering the door right ahead of us there will disappear and cover the other door. I'm moving backwards now. Should just there it goes. Maybe like a little switch on the floor. Don't think I've been quick enough there. There we go. There we go. Ah! And it's come back again. You'll get there eventually, guys. Sometimes it just works and just stays open. So I've just legged it then. There's the door. Okie dokie. Okay, so you should now be on the last page of the walkthrough guide printed in Amstrad Action magazine. We're now in Bet D. There's an ankh to pick up on the wall here. And the guide tells us not to use the ankh to unlock the door to our left there. So we're going to have to drop off the ledge here and take some more fall damage. Some gold to pick up. And I think we need to watch out in the next room. I think there are some lasers. I'm just having a quick check around there, make sure I've not missed anything. Yeah, I think there's lasers in this room coming up on the ceiling. Gives you a bit of a clue, that thing, the symbol above the door there. So if you just walk around the edge of the playing area, some gold to pick up there. You won't get hit by the lasers that are on the ceiling. Just angling myself very carefully. Or is it a laser above a door there that shoots us? I don't know, but if you stick to the far perimeters of the room, you won't get hit. Okay, now we're in Osiris D. Now if we look up the ceiling, there's actually a hidden block here, which is actually a switch. So you need to shoot that with your gun. There we go. Oh no, it's not a hidden switch. It actually opens up a part of the floor. So at some point you'll be out in the desert and you'll find a hole in the desert floor and you'll drop through that and land on that big block there. So that opens up a part of the game later. First aid kit here. Now, I should point out, guys, that this probably may not be the most best and efficient route through the game. We certainly haven't collected all the gold and stuff by the end. But it's actually a pretty quick route to follow. I did notice that there was a Spectrum walkthrough on YouTube, and things are done quite differently there. For example, there's one bit earlier on in their walkthrough, like you go into a different room and shoot a barrier that's blocking a door to save yourself using an ank later on. I didn't know about that. Obviously, the guy that wrote this walkthrough didn't know about that either. But okay, this might not be the best route, but it will get you through and it will get you beating the game. There's probably better ways of doing this without all the fall damage we've taken, but it may save us quite a bit of time going around, having to loop through lots of different rooms to get to where we need to go. And time is your biggest enemy here, not fall damage, because there's quite a few med kits lying around. Okay, someone's checking, and as I thought, there's some gold in this room to collect, so we'll get that quick. Now, there's a bit of an Indiana Jones homage in the next room, I believe, with a ceiling that's slowly collapsing down on us that will eventually crush us if we're too slow. So I'm going to crawl through this little gap here into a dangerous room. Actually, it's pretty easy to get through. It comes down really slowly. You've got to be really crap not to do it. Did you hear that noise? We'll have a look up and see, and just show you guys. Yeah, look, the ceiling's coming down on us. A quick look around for any gold. And us looking around actually slows down the engine and game and the ceiling coming down on us. But there we go. Let's get through there. Okay, we're now in Cellkit C. There's water. I think there's a water trough here. Yes, there is. Yeah. Ah, I forgot about the laser. We've been in this room before, you see. Now we need the manual. The walkthrough tells us to go back to Cellkit D, which is actually the south door. That's missing in the walkthrough. And then use the teleporter again here. And it'll take us back to Thebes D, not Thebes B, as it's listed in the walkthrough guide. So that's another error. There we go. Now in Thebes D. And we just need to go through this gap here. There's a giant Sphinx part here to collect. That's that big, huge block there. And we can use an ank to unlock this door here. Perhaps I should have tested shooting this door lock. See if it would have disappeared. But oh well. We'll have enough anks. Right, from Thebes F, the walkthrough guide tells us to make our way back out to Sahara C. It's actually what you need to do here, guys. Yeah, there's a big chunk of this missing again in the walkthrough guide. So go through this door here, and we'll come out between the dogs in Thebes G. So what we need to do is run through the door, get through so we don't get hit by the lasers, and turn around and go back in there again. I was just double checking there wasn't any gold to pick up. That's the exit there. We need to get a top left there to get through to the Sahara Sea. Okay, so we come back into this room and shoot the dogs. And then that disables their laser. Now go up the stairs in the corner here. And now we can actually go through this door at the top of the blocks. You may have seen in the other room, there's a ledge with a bit to crawl under. There we go. Come out to Thebes H. Crawl here. Go under the block. Come out here. We're now at entrance A. So that now we can get out back into the Sahara Desert. So yeah, there's a big chunk of that missing in the walkthrough guide. I think that is read about paragraph 11 of the part 2 walkthrough guide. Okay, that gold reappears there as a mirage, but it is just a mirage. Don't waste your time on that. Okay, we now need to find the hole in the floor of the desert, which we made earlier by shooting that block in the ceiling. So just go between these two pyramids here and then turn to your left. Oh look, they've now got cactus and cacti added in the desert. That wasn't there in Total Eclipse 1. It's a nice touch. Turn to your left. Run between these two pyramids. Stuck on the wall there. And there's the hole in the floor. And obviously, guys, make sure you save your progress at various points in this game. I think you press the I key. I think it's I or H on the keyboard, and you can save your position to tape or disk. And now we've dropped through the floor, and we've come out where we knocked that block out the ceiling, and we've landed on the block that was preventing our progress before, and squished it down. There we go, and we can go up these steps now. Okay, now in Osiris E, I believe there's some gold here somewhere as well. Oh, actually, there's 3 anks to collect here. They're just behind us on the wall. And we're going to need these 3 anks. And we should then have a total of 5. And we're going to use them all in one place, all at once, very shortly. Bit of gold there, and there's 1 more ank to collect. That noise you hear in the background is the door on the opposite wall opening and closing slowly. There it is again. We'll see that shortly as well. Okay, we can see there's a first aid kit in the far corner. Now there, where I'm looking there, guys, there was a big block stuck in the air. And because we dropped through the hole from the desert, it squished it right down, which has opened up this area. So there you go. Might as well restore a bit of health, although our heart rate is actually pretty good at the moment. And now this block here, blocking the door, just actually... oh god. Sorry, the first aid kit, using it can be quite awkward. You have to go in at an angle at it to actually use the first aid kit. It's a bit weird, a bit glitchy that. Now duck under this lock here. You can actually go through this lock without using an ank, and we need to keep all 5 anks. So there's some gold in this room on a coloured part of the floor. It's actually a trap, and we can actually avoid this and just avoid getting the gold, and we won't get hurt. Lasers on the ceiling, but we're trying to get as much gold as we can on this long play, so we'll get it and take the damage because we do have a med kit in the previous room. So we'll go back and heal up quickly. Should have enough time, so it'll take longer to hit the R key to rest. We'll lose a lot more time that way. There's a Sphinx part in this room. And just above our heads there is the bridge part of the game, which you'll need all 5 anks for. We'll see that very shortly. Okay, so we're going to go back in this room, this isn't in the walkthrough guide, but we're going to use the med kit here, which is always awkward to use. So just go in at an angle on it, and it seems to work. There we go. You get the notification pop up and a noise. There we go. And the more you move, the more your water goes down, so bear that in mind as well. So make sure you're crawled here and go under the door lock, and you can go into this door without wasting an ank. And remember, you need 5 anks here. If you haven't got 5 anks, you're not going to be able to do this bit. So we're going to go up the steps here. So it might be a good point here to save your position and go looking for the 5th Ankh if you're missing one, for example. And okay, so this is another sort of magical mystery part of the game, which probably would have confused some people and may not have worked out that you could do this. But if you keep walking forward, a floating block will sort of appear in front of you and it will magically create a bridge for you. But there'll be 5 parts of the bridge, each taking 1 Ankh of yours. And there's also a Sphinx part across there that you need to get. So, okay. Using the smallest stride, just keep walking forward. You notice that floating block is getting closer and closer to you. So maybe that would have been a bit of a clue. And then the block falls over and you move into another block. There you go. And as you can see, my Ankhs are disappearing. There's all sorts of noises happening. It may not be entirely clear what the hell is going on here. The noises are going absolutely bananas there. And now we've made a bridge across and we can get across to this section here. I'm not sure what that door leads to there and what those symbols mean, but we never actually need to go through that. So there's some gold to pick up. And then there's an awkwardly placed Sphinx part behind us. So we U-turn. There it is, right on the very edge. So we don't want to fall off here if we can. Although we do have a first aid kit and we can just carry on. It's not absolutely a big issue if we do fall off here. Just time is our biggest enemy in the game. And as you can see, guys, we've only got like, was it 13 minutes left on the wristwatch there. Oh god, it could be really awkward picking up items and getting the right position. So I'm just going to go in a crawl position and just go around to the side of it maybe. As you can see there now, actually, you can just make out the bridge has been built. There you go. Ooh, he fell off there. Probably just wasted too much time on this here. I should have just got it, fell off the ledge, got the health kit, and then carried on. But hey ho. Finally, now we've got 10 parts of the Sphinx. And again, as the walkthrough tells you, if you haven't got 10 parts, then you've got a problem. You've missed one somewhere. Because now we're coming to sort of the final bit of the game at last. So I just go back over the bridge. Right. Make some beeping noises as you walk across it. I got a little bit scared there, so I did leg it. Steps down. Take. Don't walk over that blue section of the floor. Remember, it's a trap with lasers above us. And remember, you can crawl under that door lock ahead of us as well. Also, our water levels are getting quite low here. I'm going to move as quick as I can. Okay, so now go up the steps here. And now we're going to go through that door that's slowly opening and closing. And there's no way to get there without falling off this ledge here. I'm just double checking there's nothing else I've missed there, like gold or anything. So, we have to take the damage. There's an Ankh behind us, so go and get that. And you just need to be ducked to go through this. Make sure it's not going to close on you. And behind us is a bizarre sort of face with a mouth opening and closing. I'll show you a little bit of that in a second. But there's a Sphinx part. So part 11, we've only got one more Sphinx part to get. And then we've beaten the game. Again, just checking. There's that face. I'll show you perhaps a little bit more of that in a second. And again, we're going to have to fall off this ledge here. So we're going to take some more damage, unfortunately. But maybe... I was actually going to go along it, actually, and see if we could drop down on those blocks and save a bit of fall damage. But unfortunately not. I'm going to go through that door ahead of us there. I'm just going to U-turn and see if I can show you that face. Get up high. There's that face. It's really odd. And that's it. And that noise is his mouth opening and closing. I missed it there, but like, look, time's running out. Very, very little fluid left. Heart rate's a bit high. There's a bit missing here in the walkthrough guide. It just says from here make your way to cell kit C, which is actually quite a few rooms away. So we go through the west door here into cell kit H. There is a water trough here to fill up our water. There it is. So get that done. And have to go through then go to the west door to get to cell kit G. So that's the door on the right there. Off we go. And now we're in cell kit G. And we need to go behind these blocks here to that hidden door. Behind them. Oops, not quite there yet. Yeah, I wonder what that bird on the wall does. Never found out. You can shoot that bird and its head turns. I mentioned that earlier. I'm not sure what that opened. Okay. Now we're in cell kit F. We're going to need to go up the steps on the north wall. Into the door into cell kit E. I missed the first step there. Oops. Move back and get up it. And again, we need to go along the ledge, and then we need to drop off and get some more fall damage here. So our heart rate's going to be through the roof here, probably. Don't know why this is missing in the walkthrough. Yikes. Quite a high heart rate here. Now, I don't think we need to drop off anything else here, so when we get to the final room, we'll have quite a high heart rate, but if you fall off in that room anyway, you're pretty much dead, so it doesn't really matter. Go through here to cell kit C. Oh, I forgot about the laser. Use the last ank, and here we are in the final room, cell kit B. Essentially, I call this the final room with the disappearing steps. And now this is a bit of a nightmare. If you follow in the guide, part 4 of this paragraph is wrong when it says look down slightly when the 12th block appears. Anyway, well, I'll talk to that in a minute. What we do here is shoot the second block, then the third block, go out the room, and then come back in again. So just might as well just push back. Okie dokie. And now we need to get across to the 6th block, which is pretty much solid. And we have to be quick because that third block is disappearing and reappearing all the time. So this is one of these really awkward maneuver ones like we had in the first game that drove me insane. Because you think you're actually stood on a block, but actually you move forward and you're not, and then you fall to your doom below and have to do it all over again. It's definitely, this is a point where you save your game. Okay, so we'll just get lined up here and then get across as quick as we can. That was close. And now we go across to the, I think it's like the 11th block here. Oh, look at that disappearing. Again, we've got to be quick. So this is blocks 7 and 8, disappearing and reappearing. So get yourself in a nice angle. So you can just run straight across. Perhaps should have waited actually and been patient. We just did it. Yikes. Now this paragraph is right. This section of the walkthrough is wrong. It says look down slightly. When the 12th block appears, step onto it, U-turn, and your sight should be on the 11th block. Shoot it, U-turn, and step onto block 13. No. Basically, we go onto the already solid block 12 here, which is this blue one. I was just trying to remember what to do here. That's why I was just sort of taking a pause moment. We actually then, when we're on this blue block here, that's solid, turn around, then shoot the block we are just on now, which is block 11. So go onto the blue block and then turn around and shoot the orange block we've just walked off of. So, okay, come on here. U-turn, shoot this one. And if you turn around now, there's now a solid blocks all the way across. We've got a block reappearing and disappearing. So we just need to time it right, get the right angle, and then leg it across. So just checking it. There's a block of gold on the floor there, but don't go for it, because I think you'll be stuck in this room. Oh, not quite yet, sorry. Right, there's that orange block ahead. If you shoot that one, watch what happens. Just wait for that other one to reappear. Not that one, this one. Okay, now we have a block here. So this is the trickiest part. Sorry, I almost forgot. Go onto this block, it's now solid and it will stay there. What you need to do after you get on this orange block is the block ahead of it, which is disappearing and reappearing. You need to go on that, quickly U-turn, shoot the orange block, and it will make it reappear in front of that disappearing and reappearing block, and then U-turn and run across very, very quickly. So this is the trickiest part, probably of the entire game. Okay, so just sort of gearing up for this. So when we shoot the orange block we're on now, it will reappear in front of that one, and then we can get across the final block and into the final room. So ready, steady, go. U-turn, shoot, U-turn, it's now there, run, and there, we've done it. Fantastic. We're now in the final room. Okay, so there's lasers in this room. You can see them on either side of the wall there. What you need to do is go down the steps and go in a crawl position. And if you keep crawled, the lasers won't hit you. I'm not sure why it says I there. I'm just checking there's nothing on the edges, ledge there that I might have missed, like gold or anything. So get lined up in a nice straight line. I want to go down these steps. Aye. Okay. Gone in a crawl position. There we go, nicely lined up. Face forward, and off we go. There's a block of gold and the final Sphinx part. I'll just show you that very quickly. There's the Sphinx part. I think it's his second eye, isn't it? Oh yeah, that's why it's saying eye. Got the gold, got the last part. The curse is overcome, and the Sphinx has been rebuilt. There we go, guys. And we get the final ending screen here. Showing the total eclipse happening, but the world has not ended. And there we go, guys. That is Total Eclipse Sphinx 2 beaten. As a final score, guys, I don't know. Roughly, I'd say probably I'd give this maybe an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's quite as good as the first game, or as interesting, but and certainly the invisible wall room puts a lot of people off. But that was a bit annoying. There we go, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Maybe I'll get Castle Master as the next Freescape game I'll do. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click a like below, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already. And over that way, there's another video for you to check out. Xyphoe, out.